Hello, everybody. Okay, so happy full moon, at least here in Bali, and most of you are in the full moon day by now, I think, as well. I wanted to just quickly come in because I thought that this would be a really good opportunity in terms of like the timing to talk a little bit about identity and what it is that you actually want and where you're stopping yourself from having it. I'm sensing obviously a theme in some of the questions and stuff that were coming forth, and thank you all for like the vulnerability and bringing that forth and sharing. And for those that didn't, no worries. I still hope that you got something out of the coaching that I did with others, and there will be more opportunity to do that a little bit later. And of course, I just dropped the offer for those 5 spots if you wanted to do some work in private. That's significantly lower than I would normally charge for that. So if that is calling to you, go ahead and grab that while they're available. But anyway, I wanted to talk around this a little bit because I think many of you this year, some I know, some I don't know yet, but have been really kind of circling around this. I feel like I'm doing the things right. I'm being the person, but it's not here yet. And number one, like, the constant, I think I said this in one of the messages, that I was responding to today, but when you're constantly searching and seeking the outcome, and I know it's real, trust me, I know how hard it is not going to show up. Because you're looking for that validation of I'm doing the right thing instead of the self-validation of I know that I'm being the person that gets this. And it's not always going to happen the way you want. People say divine timing for a reason, because it's not always an immediate payoff, and being able to hold the duality, hold the good with the bad is a part of growth, because growth is fucking uncomfortable AF, and stretching the limits of your comfort zone. I have always kind of said in my coaching with my clients that, success happens on the edge of your comfort zone. The more comfortable you try to stay, the less you're going to see that growth. And it's not saying that you're never going to be comfortable, but when you're holding yourself back from the things that are part of that growth level because you don't want to face the discomfort of it, it's hard. And I know sometimes it can literally be like, I don't want to do the thing. I can't force myself to do the thing. So, sometimes it's just putting one foot in front of the other and just doing one small thing. So what is that one thing? Sending one message to somebody, putting out an offer to, your past clients, sending them a message, offering that up. It might be going live if that's not something that you normally do. It might be, I don't know. Sorry, I can't think of another thing, but your expansion happens when you're able to take that and continue to move forward. So if it's, I can't make myself do the thing, well, why can't you understand, face the emotion? What is the fear? Because I've faced this a lot myself in my own journey, so I want to recognize, I understand how challenging this can be sometimes to push our limits, especially when we feel like we have the evidence of the past of this isn't working, or the current, like it's not working, or this isn't going to work, or what if I fail and it doesn't work. But and I've myself like had to be called out by my own mentors on this, because it's like sometimes we go back into that comfort zone, and I don't want to like blame it on human design, but I will say, like, those with 3 in their profile, it probably, like, this is going to be a theme of your life, so you're going to have to get used to it, but with everybody, with every growth, there is going to be discomfort that happens, and you have to ask yourself, like, how willing am I to scale the edge of that discomfort in order to get what I want? Is it more uncomfortable to make this move now, or is it more uncomfortable to stay where I'm at forever? And this is going to be different for all of you. So for some, it might be, I know that I need to invest in something. Or it might be, I know that I need to, send some messages, and I want to do that, but I'm afraid. Or I want to put out this new offer, but the last time I put out an offer, nobody bought it, and what if it fails? It might be, again, I really want to invest in this program, and I've made mistakes in the past thinking that it was going to be all the rage, and I didn't get the result I wanted. So now, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't get the outcome? Because every time you're putting putting that what if there. You're outsourcing your own power to someone or something outside of you, saying, I don't trust myself to do the thing. And this year has been especially trying for many people, myself included, to be honest, in many ways that I needed to go through. But the only thing that is going to change it is you actually making the move. So if it's circling the should I or shouldn't I change my niche, go after this thing. I'm just trying to think of some of the things that you guys were saying. Why not? Like, what is the worst thing that would happen if you go after what you want? Because the thing is we make everything mean so much about us. We make it mean so much if it doesn't work. But really, like, if you don't actually try and do the thing, how are you ever going to know if it's going to work? How are you ever going to know if the thing that you're holding back from is the thing that's going to move the needle from you? So whether it's having an uncomfortable conversation, whether it's, again, having the conversation at the checkout as your customers are checking out and offering them the thing, whatever that thing is for you, it's really important to actually get clear on what it is, why you're not doing it, and what you're willing to do to continue moving. And I'm not talking about hustling here, because that's not the thing. It's generally actually something extremely easy, and it is an identity shift. It is a mindset, a body shift. It's all of it. It's understanding what's happening inside you and saying, I don't accept that. I don't accept this. This is not how life goes for me. It's this or something better, and you continue to move. But when we stay stuck in that old paradigm of this is how it went in the past, you're going to continue to get pulled further and further back. And, something in my own journey that has been very difficult for me has been this continual growth. And, I've had lots of failures, probably. I mean, if you list them out, and what some people consider failures, that list is probably much longer for me. It means I've had investments where I didn't get the results that I wanted. It means that many clients have said no to my offers. And is it uncomfortable when it happens? Yeah. Is it disappointing? Yeah. Just sometimes I feel sad or upset because I launched a program and nobody joined. I'll be totally honest. I launched multiple programs this year that didn't turn out the way that I expected them to. And one of them, I had one person sign up, and I decided, you know what? I'm doing it anyway, and it's going great, because that is who I am. I'm not the person that shrinks back and doesn't do the thing because I'm afraid. I went till the very last minute and pushed to get people into that thing. And I'm just trusting, I just trusted that it was the way it was meant to be, and that's exactly how it has turned out, because I have learned a lot from myself and what has been transpiring with that one person who's in that container. But if you don't do the thing, if you don't push those limits, you're never going to know who you are meant to be. Well, actually, you know who you're meant to be, but it's going to be very difficult to actually reach that goal. And as we go into the coming years, things are just going to continue to, like, what you're experiencing now will amplify. So if you want it to be easier, if you want to be the person who has the thing, who does the scary things and can hold that energy, then it's time to actually start doing it and asking yourself, what am I holding back and not doing? And I'm not saying that any of you aren't necessarily like showing up and doing things, because I know that you are. But there are definitely things where you are holding yourself back out of fear. And it's important to identify that. And whether it's a fear, again, of failure, of what people will think of you, of whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't define who you are. Who you are is the person who gets what she wants. Who you are is the person who expands out. Who you are is the person who can hold the discomfort, who can hold the growth, who can hold the money, who can hold it all, and who can have a fucking amazing life while running a successful business and continue expanding from that. But if you're not willing to do the thing that makes you uncomfortable, that stretches you, it's not going to happen. I don't want to be, I don't want to be harsh, but I also want to be truthful, because I can stay here and, fluff it up and say all the good things, but that doesn't necessarily move the needle. So, I would ask you to really reflect, where have you been holding yourself back, if anywhere, And what are you committing to on this full moon, especially? Like, what are you committing to doing, to shifting, to changing? Who are you committing to being in the months, the years going forward, and tomorrow? And what is that one thing, just that one thing that you can do that will shift something? And it can be as small as sending one message to someone, of saying one thing, of committing to spending 1 hour every single day just focused on selling your thing, doing things that will move the needle, not just like passively saying, oh, I have this thing over here, but actually what am you doing? Putting yourself in front of new crowds, sending messages even when it feels uncomfortable, because if you don't get the no's, you're never going to get the yeses either. So I am loving what we're seeing already in here, and I really invite you all to really step forward even more in this space and share the things that are coming up. Our coaching day, is done. However, I have opened up a few spots if you want to go deeper privately. And I am going to be probably opening up some one-on-one spots. I just don't have the capacity to do a ton of them while I'm here in Bali. So I do encourage you to take advantage of the Voxer / Telegram coaching opportunity. And, if you're feeling called to go further with this work, period, feel free to send me a message and we can talk about what that would look like as well, on a private basis. So anywho, I hope everybody is having an amazing day and that you have a fabulous full moon. But just remember, what are you committing to going forward? What are you releasing? What are you committing to? Because that, this comes once a month, but this is the time to reset, to step forward and to call yourself and your leadership even higher.